What is up, everyone? My name is Manny, in case you're new here, or welcome back. Today I am coming back at you with another chatty video, which you guys seem to love. Because it is the end of the year, I thought I would take this time and chat with you guys about the intentions and goals that I set for 2020, whether I reached them, reflecting on them a little bit, and then talking about what I am setting for 2021 for the upcoming year. So without further ado, let's just get started because I'm really excited to talk about this stuff. My hair looks kind of crazy right now. My French braids are really loose, so I'm sorry if I look a little odd. At the beginning of 2020, or the end of 2019, I should say, I set a bunch of, I forgot what I called them. They were more intentions or guiding principles for the year of 2020. Obviously, this year has become super different and has just shown us that things can go wrong at any time and any second. So obviously I set these goals without the notion that like the whole world would shut down and there would be a giant pandemic. So I'm just going to bring you through the guiding principles that I set for 2020 and kind of reflecting on if I reached them and stuff like that. Just one disclaimer is that I don't set like New Year's resolutions anymore. They are what I call guiding principles or intentions. In my mind, resolutions are kind of pass fail, and I don't really like that idea because obviously growing as a person and improving is not just pass fail, it's a big journey, and sometimes you can go backwards and sometimes you can go forwards. So that's why I call them guiding principles rather than resolutions. But they're kind of the same idea, just that like instead of having like lose X amount of weight or have a 4.0 GPA or something like that, like it's kind of more of a immeasurable thing, but just something I want to focus on, if that makes sense. So let's get started. So my first guiding principle for 2020 was to stay authentic to myself. If you can see, I made a lovely little collage and wrote about that, but basically what I wanted to focus on with this guiding principle, it's kind of self-explanatory, was to never compromise my morals or my values for anybody else. And I would say that I don't know about the morals and the values part, but I think I've really grown into like myself this year. I have really grown into my own person, which is very nice. I used to be very like self-conscious about the fact that I was introverted and I would always feel pressured to go out with my friends even if I didn't want to, just so that I could fit into the group, or you know, just to make sure that my friends would like me. But especially with the pandemic this year, I have definitely grown into myself and figured out what I am like on my own, I think, which is very nice, obviously. And yeah, and another thing that I wanted to bring up with this point was that I feel like I am so accepting of myself now. There really is never a day where I would rather be someone else or I'd want to change something about myself, which is very nice. Sorry, this is like bothering me. I know maybe even 1 year ago this time, I was very self-conscious. I didn't like the way that I looked. I didn't like the way that I was. I never thought that I was good enough for other people. But at this point in my life, I am actually quite happy with all of these factors, like waking up, looking in the mirror every day. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I know that, but it's about learning to accept your flaws and that they are a part of you. And I really like harnessed them this year, I think, and I am really proud of what I look like and also just like my physique and my look. On top of that, my personality, I think I am quite happy with that as well, and I am just like more unapologetically myself, which I really like. I've had the chance to develop really close relationships this year, and I find that I don't have to like pretend to be someone else or like pretend to be a certain way so that they like me, but I can just be myself and they'll like me, which is really nice. My second guiding principle for 2020 that I set last year was let passion guide your learning. And with this one, basically what I meant was just never stop learning and never stop wanting to learn. I think that's very important as a human being, that learning doesn't just occur in a classroom or in a lecture hall. It can occur like when you're out in the grocery store, or if we can, like when you're traveling and stuff like that. So that's something really important that I want to highlight. I think I want to continue that guiding principle into this next year, but I have really fallen in love with being a student of life. that's kind of cheesy. But even in my schoolwork, I kind of have found like a greater purpose to doing the schoolwork rather than just getting a good mark and stuff like that. Like I've really enjoyed learning all the content that I have learned this year. I think especially because I was taking like commerce courses this past semester. I got to broaden my learning and all the things that I got to do, which I really enjoyed. Like I really like accounting and I really like organizational behavior, and now school is less about the marks and more just about like what can I learn and apply to my daily life, and like what skills can I pick up from this class, which is really nice. This next semester I'm really excited. I get to take like, I think I'm going to talk about this a little later too, but I get to take more electives this year and like throughout the end of my university journey, just because of the way that I course planned. I don't know how, but I'm really excited to be able to branch out of psych and commerce and do a lot of extra things. Like this upcoming semester I'm taking creative writing, and I'm also taking computer science, which were things that I've always wanted to take, so I'm really excited that I get to take them this year. I'll talk about it a little more later. Okay, the third guiding principle that I had was love your body and treat it well. At the time that I set these goals, I was in the middle of my like gym journey, and I really enjoyed going to the gym and like loving my body and working for the best version of myself basically. And this is also another goal that I'm setting for the next year. I'll talk about it a little later, but yeah, I think I would say that I actually really accomplished this goal. Like I actually don't have there's rarely ever days that I like don't like my body. Obviously there's days like here and there where I'm like maybe I could improve on this, but in general, like I would say my physique is not something that I'm really insecure about anymore. Number 4, surround yourself with literature that challenges, inspires, and teaches you. I wanted to read more this year. I would say I've read like a decent amount of books. I really want to be more into like taking notes in the books that I read, because it's actually terrifying how much I do not remember after I finish reading a book. So I've done that with quite a number of books actually in my bullet journal this year, so I just want to continue that as well. But I would say I did accomplish / like achieve, focus on this goal basically a lot more, and I do really enjoy reading again, which is very nice. 5, prefer real life moments over those online. Obviously this one has been turned upside down because of the pandemic, and I had to celebrate my 20th birthday online, we had to do college online and all this kind of stuff. So this one wasn't really something that I could achieve or like focus on this year just because of the way that the world turned out. But I would say after this year, or after 2020, I am definitely going to be a lot more thankful and take advantage of the real life events that I could be a part of at UBC and just in life in general, because I miss seeing my friends and being on campus and everything. Like there's so many things that I should sign up for at UBC that I haven't done just because like I didn't realize I had those opportunities before. Like I really want to do Storm the Wall or like Relay for Life and stuff like that. That's like special to UBC and a one-time thing that I should not take advantage of. With that, those were all of my 2020 guiding principles that I set. I would say that given the year that has occurred, I did very well, and I really like the person that I have become this year and just what I have done with this year in general. It's definitely like, despite everything that's happened, has been a really great year. I think I've like found a lot more of myself and who I am, and also just like who I want to be as well. And I have taken advantage of a lot of great opportunities that have come my way this year, and hopefully we'll continue doing that for the next year. With that, we're going to go over my goals for 2021, which I am very excited for. So last year I put my goals in this journal. It was like my daily writing journal, but then I finished this journal in March and then I moved on to other journals. So I didn't actually keep this open like a ton. And honestly, I just found this like a few days ago and I looked over it and kind of forgot about it, which is not great. But this year I am putting my goals into my 2021 planner, in my Erin Condren planner, which is great. So there's this little space that has like 12 little categories, and I think you're supposed to like put the months in it and do whatever, but I decided to just basically categorize my life into different aspects that I want to focus on and put each one in a little box and write down like what I want to improve in that category. So we're gonna go over each of them. So The first category that I have is self, and basically this one is just encompassing like everything, my entire life, just my being. I didn't know how else to put it, so I just wrote self as the category title. And the two main things that I want to focus on this year is to learn to find a sense of productivity outside of just mindlessly completing tasks, and also to not let moments be a transitory period. For the first one, I think this was extremely highlighted when school became online, and you know, before, my throat is very dry. Before, just like in second year when school was in person and stuff like that, and it was always about like how many things I could check off my to-do list that day and how many things I could get done, and I would feel accomplished if I felt like I did everything or like close to everything, and a bad day would be like basically if I did nothing or did not many tasks. And I want to find a definition of productivity that doesn't encompass that, basically, because I've learned that productivity is not that, and I think a lot of students who are doing online college will feel the same way. It has been a lot harder to, have self-discipline and motivation to get your schoolwork done or even attend lecture for the day. So I don't know exactly what the definition of productivity is going to be, but I just want it to be highlighted that you don't need to finish everything on your to-do list and have like 20,000 things on your to-do list in order to feel productive or accomplished for the day, because there are a lot of things outside of your to-do list that you could be doing to improve yourself and just have a good day in general. With the second point, don't let moments be a transitory period, I saw this in like a Instagram post or something like that a while ago, and I always found it very meaningful to me. And that's just basically, this quote means kind of like what it sounds like, just not let moments be like leading up to something else, if that makes sense. Like let a moment be its own moment. It's really easy for, the summer to be just glorified into the summer before senior year, and you're just like flying by the summer without really remembering or just appreciating the fact that it is summer, for example. So I think that's something that I really want to highlight this year, is to just kind of be aware of the time that I have and to take advantage of it fully and not take it for granted, for sure. The next category that I have for goals is school. The first one is cut myself slack with online school. With the next 2 semesters foreseeably being online, I know for sure that it's going to be tough for me. I've not done amazing this semester in terms of marks, but marks have not always been like the way that I define my success in academics, but it is one way to see how you're doing. And I would actually say that I would definitely have like learned the most this semester, but it has also been a lot tougher just with like assignments and having everything to do on your own and not really having people there to support you. So just in general, I want to cut myself slack. If you're a student in online college, you should as well, because this is a crazy time and you should not be expected to kind of hold yourself to the same standard as you would before. The second point that I have in my school category is to find interest in other academic subjects. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm having a lot more opportunities to take electives these upcoming semesters and until I graduate. So I've been looking into different types of courses that I can take. For example, I think this summer or like the next fall semester, I'm going to be taking like urban studies or urban planning, like maybe sociology course on shopping or food or stuff like that. And then like next semester, as I said, I get to take computer science, which has always been something that I wanted to try out. So I'm really excited for that. The next category that I have for my goals is food. For this one is the main 2 goals or kind of intentions that I want to set is to learn more new recipes and cook more whenever I can. I've been really getting into cooking and just kind of not eating like instant pasta every day because I've been at home a lot more and I have more time to do these things. So it's been really fun learning how to, make like salmon or make a salad or make like mashed potatoes. I don't even know, but it's been really fun and I really enjoy it, honestly. And the second thing that I want to focus on is having balance in meals. It's been really hard for me in the past to not go overboard in terms of like when I'm measuring or like counting calories and stuff like that, so I don't really do that anymore. But I do want to be more aware of the fact that I should be having more vegetables and maybe more like healthier proteins, and then like more complex carbs instead of refined carbs. So that's my goal, and I think that's definitely doable. I just have to pick and choose what I buy at the grocery store. The next category is physical health. It's definitely been tough this year because I haven't been able to go to the gym for the last like 9 months, but I still have found ways to be active and healthy in my own home. That includes a lot of YouTube workouts, which honestly have been super fun. I really, really like them. And it's definitely been different, and I'm really excited to go back to the gym eventually and start weightlifting again. But as of right now, I've had a lot of fun doing like HIIT workouts, just ab workouts at home. And I definitely think that like is a great way to get my stress out and just not be sitting the entire day. The first goal that I have for this category is to be understanding of my body. At the beginning of quarantine, I definitely felt super guilty when I wasn't motivated enough to exercise at home, and I felt like not going to the gym was kind of the end of my exercise career. But I want to be more understanding of that, because at the beginning of quarantine, I was super hard on myself, and yeah, I was not healthy for sure. The second goal is to celebrate being able to move, jump, and stretch. So rather than being focused on like, I want to be able to hold a 4-minute plank by the end of this year or something like that. Like, I think exercise should be more focused on like being grateful that your body is able to move and able to be mobile. Oh, I opened the window, so I'm sorry if there's background noise. The last goal in this category is to be less focused on the numbers. Yeah, I don't know what, like, it's just with me, like, whenever I turn something into a quantitative game, it just becomes a little more unhealthy for me. I get a little more obsessive over it. This is like when I measure my food, like the calories that I'm eating and stuff like that. And the same thing with exercise as well. So I want to have less focus. I honestly think I might not even wear my Apple Watch anymore. I don't know, because it's getting to the point where it's kind of makes it unenjoyable for me. So I'm still thinking about it, obviously, but that's kind of been what I've been thinking about, and I'm definitely considering it. But I just want to be less focused on the numbers of exercise for sure. The next category is work. I only have one little guiding principle here, and it is to continuously challenge and improve myself in my work. With everything that I've been doing, I am quite comfortable in my jobs. I've definitely, like, if I wanted to, I could definitely just plateau and not work any harder than I need to and just kind of cruise from here, but I don't want to do that. Obviously, I want to continue to learn to be better, be a better teacher, be a better BI, be a better, like, anything, and just learn more in my jobs. The next category is books. This is the only, like, quantifiable goal I have, which is to read a book per month. I definitely have been reading a lot more than before, like in high school and stuff like that, but I want to pick it up a little bit more just because sometimes I don't read as much as I want to, just because I have no like pressure on myself to, if that makes sense. It might also be about the fact of like what type of books I'm reading, and if I don't really enjoy it, I'm gonna read a little slower. But I definitely want to read a bit more this year and expand my knowledge, so I want to pick up the pace with my reading. Okay, I only have 3 categories left. The next category is YouTube. For YouTube, I want to continue making videos that I am passionate about and proud of. I've definitely done that this year, and a lot of you guys have joined my journey as well. I am really proud of the videos that I make and stuff like that, but there are times when I go through like ruts of YouTube and I really just don't want to post a video that week. I don't really know what to do in those times. I don't know if it's better to like skip or if it's better to post a video, because yeah, I don't know. I get kind of hard on myself if I don't do it. And then the next goal is to challenge myself to be more creative and engaging with my content. I think I've gotten quite comfortable with the content that I make, like vlogs and stuff like that. So I want to try and expand into different content, maybe try doing more like lifestyle or tutorials, maybe even. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not qualified to give like tutorials and stuff like that. So I can't talk today. That's kind of why I do vlogs, is more so like you can learn from my experience rather than like I'm giving a lesson to you guys. But I don't know, we might try. I have some plans for the new year as well, like the videos I have for January, so definitely going to be seeing a bit more of change for those. So I hope you're excited. The next category that I have is relationships, and this includes like friendships and stuff like that. I want to surround myself with caring and supportive friends. I think this has been a goal of mine forever. Especially with this year, I've found that like it's important to have friends with you and like have people who will support you. And then the next one that I have is to be a better communicator. And this is in terms of like figuring out my emotions, being able to understand them, and also being able to communicate them to other people. Because before this year, I had a lot of trouble with not just squishing things down into the bottom of this little like jar and like just waiting to see me explode after I bottle up. So we're not going to do that anymore. Hopefully, I really want to stop doing that and learn how to communicate my emotions effectively and be a better communicator. And I would say that I've definitely like picked that up in the last half of this year, so I want to improve that for the rest of 2021. The last category that I have is just hobbies. I actually want to add one more category, but I haven't done that yet. Goals that I have for hobbies is just to try more things that I've always wanted to do. I think a big one is embroidery. I've seen it a lot on TikTok when everyone was in quarantine and stuff like that, and people were like embroidering their hoodies and their clothes, which I thought was super, super cool. And I want to learn how to do it. I just haven't gotten the chance to, so I want to make more time to like just learn more things and engage myself in different activities. I think something else that I've always wanted to do is pottery. I'm gonna write that down right now. And like maybe even a cooking class or something like that. I think that would be super dope. But with that, those are all of my 2021 intentions for this year. I definitely have included more intentions just because I categorize them into different categories, but I think in general it's just the idea of continuing to learn and grow outside of the classroom and inside the classroom as well, and then also kind of being more forgiving with myself and the way that I quantifiably measure things. I want to kind of stop doing that. That's kind of like the main overarching goals for the year. But with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was super chatty. Let me know if you have any goals or intentions for 2021. Maybe if you don't set goals, like why maybe? I don't know. Just let me know anything you want down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to. I make new videos every Monday at 11:30 a.m. PST. For the next like 2 weeks, I'm posting on Thursdays as well at 11:30 a.m. PST if you haven't noticed. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!
And I was like, yo.